Boomflowah!
Good evening, this is BelGeode, and we are back with some more DCS World 2.5. And this video has been a long time coming. No more are we using the Hornet mods. This is official. 2 weeks have arrived, and we have the A-18C Lot 20. Yes, we are in the official Eagle Dynamics Belsimtek Hornet. And one of the first things that I did when I got this Hornet was to download some user-created skins for my absolute favorite squadron, VFA 143. Now, I don't think VFA 143 actually flies the Charlie model of the Hornet, but I don't care. They're my favorite squadron, and I'm going to be getting their skin for the Tomcat when the Tomcat comes out as well. But the reason why this video is a little bit late, I've been kind of sick. Been a lot of asthma and allergies and stuff like that, so I really haven't been able to do any voiceover. So I actually did record this a little while ago, but I couldn't put any voiceover to it. So I figured, you know what, I'm just going to scrap the whole thing, and I'm just going to do a quick first look at this Hornet. And I've taken the time to study a little bit, and I even managed to download a kneeboard checklist, which I'm going to be showing you as part of the startup process here. So, what are we going to be doing tonight? Well, we're going to take off from Kasab here, Kasab Air Base on the northern tip of Oman over by the UAE. And we're going to fly down the coast towards Dubai, do a little bit of hornetry, that would be Hornet shenanigans, and then attempt to trap on the Stennis, which is just off the coast of Dubai there. Alright, but without further ado, let me see if I remember how to start this thing. Let me open up my checklist here real quick. Okay, so we have our checklist, and we're going to back up a little bit to startup procedures. There we go, page 1 of 2. Okay, so I'm going to run through this as quickly as I can here. First things first, battery switch. Flip you up. And we've got to do the fire test. Now, I got to say something about the quote-unquote Bitchin Betty voice in the Hornet. It sounds almost exactly like a really good friend of mine, Janean, who's a nurse in Alabama. So I kind of made mention of it to her, and part of the reason why I'm recording this whole thing is so that she can also hear the voice, and maybe she'll agree with me that it sounds kind of like her. All right, but let's hear what it sounds like.
Engine fire left. Engine fire left. Engine fire right. Engine fire right. APU fire. APU fire. Bleed air left. Bleed air left. Bleed air right. Bleed air right.
Okay, so that was the fire test A. Now we've got to turn the battery off and back on again. And we'll do the fire test B.
Engine fire left.
It's the same exact thing, we just got to run through it.
Engine fire right. Engine fire right. APU fire. APU fire. Bleed air left. Bleed air left. Bleed air right. Bleed air right.
Okay, so that's that for that. I'm going to turn off the battery and turn it back on. And we'll get our APU started up. We're waiting for the little green light to appear that indicates that it's ready. While we're doing that, we're going to close the canopy because it's going to get really loud here. Oh, that is a beautiful thing. I thought I was impressed before when I was in the Airfly FS2 Hornet, but oh my god, this thing blows the pants off of that. And as you can see, my wingman here is currently rocking the XO version of the Pukin Dog's livery. So that's like the all-black version, and then the line versions have the low-vis gray setup or whatnot. But mine, of course, is the CAG version, so it's all blue. Okay, so we got our green light on our APU. So at this point, we're going to start the right engine. And we're going to watch our IFE here, which I call IFE to wifey. Wait till it gets to 20. And right throttle up to idle. There we go. We got gas flowing. Engine is coming up. All right, while that's happening, let me get our INS switch to ground so that way that can initialize itself. Oh, listen to that sound though. That is so awesome. Okay, let's get our bleed air switch clockwise 360 degrees. There we go.
Roll left, roll left.
Listen to this.
Flight controls. Flight controls.
That sounds exactly like Janean. Janean, I wasn't kidding. It sounds exactly like you. It even has an Alabama accent. It's amazing. Love it. Love it. All right, let's get our DDIs on. Janean's probably like, I can't believe you put me on blast. That's exactly how she'd say it, too. If you're watching this, hey, I love you. All right, there we go. So we got our DDIs up. We've got our MPCD, which is basically our map. And according to this, we now need to uncage the SAI, which is the standby attitude indicator that's under here. We'll make sure that's set up. We're also going to need to turn on our radio altimeter or radar altimeter. We'll set it to about 100 feet. So if we get below that, we'll get that little warning that you just heard. Our radios we're going to want to set up, so I'm going to pull this out here. Pull this out here. And we're actually going to call the tower now. So ATC, Kasab. I may need to do it twice. I noticed the radios are a little bit squirrely in this thing.
Pontiac 9-1, request startup. Pontiac 9-1.
Alright, that's good enough for me. Left engine. So we'll get the left engine up and running. Wait for IFE to wifey to reach 20. There we go. Left throttle up. Okay, so both engines are coming up. This is awesome. And our wingman should also be getting ready. Yep, his wings are now down. This is perfect. We'll get our oxygen on real quick because we might do some high altitude shenanigans. So Bobog switch is on. I'm also going to put on our formation lights. We're not expected to go into combat, so position and formation, we might as well keep those on. After all, they look pretty cool. And I'm going to get some interior lights going as well here. So console lights, instrument panel. Don't really need them in the daytime, but I kind of like having them because they do help as far as I'm concerned. All right, so let's go to the next page. Radar set to operate. That's this switch right here. There we go. We need to reset the master caution twice. So we'll hit here. And then we'll hit it again. Okay, and then we're going to set this DDI to FCS. There we go. We probably should have done that ahead of time, but that's okay. All right, so you'll notice a bunch of X's on there. We're going to get rid of that by doing the flight control systems reset. There we go. All the X's are gone. We're also going to hit takeoff trim. And the APU just shut itself off. That is normal. We're going to put our flaps up to the auto position. And we now need to do our FCS bit test. So I'm going to put that on here. And we'll hit this little switch off to the side. We should see our control surfaces moving. There we go. It's going to do like a range of motion thing. Let's see if the elevons do anything. Yep, looks like they're doing something. All right, so it'll beep at us in a moment. While I'm doing that, I'm going to set our bingo fuel, which will be about 1200. There we go. So that'll give us a bingo alert at 1200 on gas. And let's check our control surfaces real quick. We'll go outside for that. Okay, all of our control surfaces check out. TACAN as required. We're going to the boat, so if we want to, we can set the frequency for the boat, which by default should be 1 X-ray. So we'll go TACAN on channel 1 is what we want, so we'll enter that. It's already on X, which is X-ray, and it's already on transmit receive, so we should be good to go there. We're going to need to set our parking brake off. Parking brakes are currently on, so we'll flip that down. There we go. Anti-skid switch is already on, flaps to half. So we'll drop the flaps 1 notch, and we'll also turn on our landing and taxi lights. There we go. Hook bypass switch is not needed because we are going to be trapping on a carrier. INS knob can now go to nav. There we go. And before we do our final switch check, let me just change this over to HSI. I kind of like having it there just to check everything out. So you'll notice it's spinning there. It's not quite picking up the ship on the TACAN as of yet. That'll square itself out a little bit later. And we do need our RWR up and running, so we'll get that up. I'm going to put the ECM on standby, and I'll put our flares and chaff on bypass, which is the uppermost switch, or the uppermost position of the switch, I should say. So now that I have that done, I can get our EW, which is our RWR. So there we go. And you may notice at the very bottom, don't forget your ejection seat arm. I don't know why, but none of these checklists have the ejection seat arming as part of the checklist. You would think that would be on there, especially if you have the pilot model engaged in this thing. You can't see the switch. So there we go. We've got that armed. We're good to go. We're now ready to taxi. So we'll call for clearance. I'm pretty sure they won't respond to us, but that's okay. I'm fine with it. Yeah, see, it didn't even make a noise there. Okay. But we're pretty much ready to go, folks. So let me just do a final switch check here. Oxygen is on. Everything else looks good on this side. Everything looks good in the center. Right side, everything looks good. Okay, we're moving out. So my wingman Merlin is going to be following me momentarily here. All right, we're going to take off to the north. So that means we need to taxi down that way, turn around, and come back. We'll probably wait for Merlin to set up shop before we move out. Speaking of which, he's rolling right now. All right, let's see if I can request takeoff from here.
Pontiac 9-1, request takeoff. Pontiac 9-1.
There we go.
Clear for takeoff when ready. Climb 300 at QFE 29.88.
Now, if I remember correctly, Merlin should take off from the right side of the runway, so I'm going to line myself up on the left side. Wait till he gets in position and calls that he's rolling, and then we'll give it full burn and take off. And that was one thing that I wasn't aware of, is just how often these guys tend to use full burner. I know with the Tomcat, it was at one point in time forbidden to use burner on the carrier, for example, but the Hornet, it's a different ball game. They seem to like using burner no matter what. All right, here's our turnaround here. Let's see if I can do this without putting it into nose wheel high gain. Okay, right about here should do the trick. Swing around. You can see Merlin down there. And we'll straighten up here. All right, right here should be good. Okay, so now all we have to do is wait for Merlin to get ready. Okay, looks like Merlin's just about ready, so we're gonna do one final check. All right, everything looks good.
Rolling.
Excellent. Brakes down, throttles up, and let's go, go, go. Full burn. Oh, listen to the sound of those GE engines. Beautiful, baby. Beautiful. All right, rotate. She just wants to jump off the ground. It's amazing. Gear up. Flaps up. Try to stay out of the way of Merlin here. We're going to swing out to the left a little bit and have him go in front of us. There he is.
2, wheels up.
Excellent, 2. And I'm going to set this thing to auto here. Okay, there we go. That's a heck of a way to rejoin there, buddy. Just don't hit those rocks, all right? Looks like he's all right. Okay, so we're heading to our first waypoint, which is the tip of the ILS feather for Kasab. I wasn't even aware that Kasab had an ILS approach, but I guess they do, so I'm not too worried about it. I'm going to bring us up to about Angels 5, and once we hit the waypoint, we will turn around and start heading in that direction towards UAE. And hopefully, by that time, our buddy should be in position. We've got about 5 miles to go, less than 5 miles until the first waypoint. And I think what I'll do on this screen here is I will set it to the radar. We have no bogeys or bandits in the sky today. It's just us. So we should be fine. I'm going to step our waypoint forward here. And we'll bring it up to about Angels 8. That way we can do some fun shenanigans with this aircraft. I have to say, for a full fidelity model, this aircraft is so ridiculously easy to fly. She does have her own quirks, just like any other aircraft. But suffice to say, she is a dream to control. Once you figure out those quirks, she will do anything you want. It's absolutely amazing. Alright, so we're still climbing here. I might use the autopilot here for a second once we get up to altitude. But off in the distance, you can see Kasab Air Base, where we just took off from. I love the way this airbase is just kind of nestled in the mountains there. That is really cool. So I'm probably going to be using it in upcoming campaigns that you will be seeing on this channel. Alright, 2. Where are you, buddy? I don't see you. We gotta find 2 again. Alright, I'm gonna slow us down a little bit here so that he can catch up. And we'll go outside and see if we can locate him. Alright, so it looks like 2 is catching up with us finally, so I'm going to keep our throttle low until he gets into position. And by which time we've got about, what, 28 miles to go until the next waypoint? So yeah, we should be good. We should be good. So yeah, absolutely love this map. Its performance is really, really good. I haven't noticed too many issues with it. I do notice, typical with DCS, if you put like a lot of stuff on a map, then it can get bogged down and give you a little bit of FPS issues. But as long as you're, you know, kind of using common sense with it and not overloading it with unnecessary stuff, then the performance is really good. So I have to say, Eagle Dynamics did a phenomenal job. And especially with the water, like close to the coastlines and everything, you can see like the different variations in water. It looks really good. So we'll try to see if we can get a little look at that as we get closer to the Dubai shores there. Alright, so 2's in position, so now I can speed up again because we're kind of slow. There we go. And let me get our autopilot on. AP on. And we're going to do a barometric altitude hold close to about 8,000 here. What are we at? 79. Okay. Right there is good. Alright, so that will hold us on altitude. That is awesome. So now we can take a quick look outside. As a matter of fact, since we've got about 16 miles to go, let's see just how fast we can take this thing. So let's kick the tires, light the fires, get some full burn going, and we'll see if we can take her past the speed of sound. Top speed on this aircraft is roughly about Mach 1.8. It's not as fast as a Tomcat, but it still has some get up and go to it. As a matter of fact, we're about to go transonic now, so we'll go back to the outside really quick. That is a beautiful thing. So we got her up to Mach 1.4. Not too shabby. Bear in mind that we do have a bunch of sidewinders and sparrows on right now, so yeah, that's going to slow us down a little bit. Not too much, though. Alright, so we have waypoint 3 coming up, which I believe I put over by Dubai International Airport. So now we can do a little bit of shenanigans around Dubai. And check out how well Eagle Dynamics has done that city. Alright, right here should be good. We've got about 44 miles until we get there. 2, are you still in position? No, 2 is way behind. Well, he's got to catch up. The Stennis should be somewhere down there. Use some magic binoculars here. Can't see it just yet. Yeah, it's a little too far out. It's beyond visual range. But we do have what appears to be a super tanker down there. So that's always pretty cool. And that's another thing that happens with this map is you'll have these ships just on their merry little way. So it's really cool stuff. There's another one right there. I wish I had known that was coming. We probably could have just buzzed it. As a matter of fact, we are going to buzz it. Because it's me, and it has to be done. And try not to black out while we're in the process.
Altitude.
All right, Janean, thank you for the warning, please. So there we are, folks. That is a super tanker. Let's take a quick look from outside. Because I was inverted. Alright. So yeah, they really went to town on the models here. So all the ships and everything look phenomenal. The buildings even. I've never been to the Middle East, obviously. But from what I'm seeing here, if it looks anything like this, I'm really impressed, I gotta say. Alright, so we're gonna put the pedal to the metal here. And we'll see if we can take it down to Dubai. And then we'll get an up-close and personal look at the town before attempting to trap on the Stennis.
Altitude.
Alright, so we're below 5,000. Actually, I think we're probably going to take it down to the deck. But yeah, you see what I mean, though. This thing is just so easy to control. It's ridiculous how easy this thing actually is. Of course, employing it in combat is another story. You really got to learn your systems, so especially like the radar system and the countermeasures and whatnot. You really have to figure out what you're doing there. So I would definitely recommend that you spend some time reading the manual before you decide to take this thing out in combat. Otherwise, you will have your butt handed to you in moments. It's not a pretty sight, let me tell you. But you can dogfight, I will tell you that. And that is also a beautiful thing. Alright, so here we are, Hornet on deck. I believe our radio altimeter or radar altimeter is set for 100, so we'll try to stay above that. Luckily, it's relatively flat terrain over here, so we really shouldn't have too much of an issue. But yeah, look at that. Look at all those trees. Probably olives and dates and all kinds of good stuff. Figs. Wow. Absolutely amazing. And the thing that I like about this area, even though it's a desert, you can tell that they've really spent a lot of time, you know, greening up the place. So you've got all these areas where there's just like lush greenery and plants and so on. In the middle of a desert, no less. It's beautiful how they were able to put all of this together. I will say this, the people who live here are very creative. Like even the islands around here, you know, you've got the world islands, which, as the name would imply, all the islands are formed in like the shape of the world or a map of the world. And then, of course, you've got the infamous Palms Islands, which we'll be taking a look at momentarily. But first, we're going to check out downtown. Matter of fact, let's do it from outside. Alright, so we're closing in on Dubai International Airport right now. Should be dead ahead, about 10 miles. You can see the Burj Al Khalifa, I think it's called. Affectionately known as the Burj. That's the tallest structure in the world. Tallest skyscraper in the world. There it is, you can't miss it. Looks like a giant needle. Alright, and here we have Dubai International. Look at this. Let's just orbit around here so that way you can take a closer look. I don't think I've seen modeling like that in either X-Plane or P3D. They've got this airport down pat. Wow. That's incredible. All right, let's look from the outside while we're at it. That is just beautiful. And you see that funky looking pod shaped thing? That's part of the monorail system that runs all throughout this city. The monorail is modeled. So just like how we were going crazy about DCS trains confirmed, DCS monorails is also confirmed. And what is that over there? Looks like some kind of a picture frame or something. Why would they put that there unless they wanted me to fly through it? Well, hell, we do not disappoint. So there's the world famous Burj. Woohoo. That is really an impressive structure. And look at that, it's even got a little park around it. See if I can turn around without losing too much energy here. That is one incredible building. I've told you before, folks, when I was in college, my first major was architecture, so I'm naturally a sucker for really good architecture. This qualifies as really good architecture. Absolutely amazing, astounding work. And there's Merlin. He's like, "What are you doing, Bell? Try not to hit the birds, please." There you go. Good call. All right, he's safe. Okay, so the other famous structure around here, I have to admit, I still don't know the name of this thing. You would figure I would have Googled it by now, looked it up. But you know the one I'm talking about. It's the hotel over here that looks like a sail. It's the same one that my good buddy Sergio from Helisimmer decided to take the Hornet in Alpha, Early Access Alpha, and land it on the helipad of this building. I'm sure you've probably seen the video. If not, I'll put a link to it below. Absolutely hilarious. He had to set the headwinds at about 180, excuse me, knots. And he was able to bring this thing down, VTOL style, on the helipad. And let me just give you an idea of how small this helipad actually is. I'm going to slow down here because we're going 500 knots. Okay, this is the building that he landed on. That's the helipad right there. Imagine bringing this thing down and landing it, perfect three-point landing, on that helipad. My buddy Sergio did that. Absolutely crazy. If anybody could pull it off, it's Mr. Helisimmer himself. I will not be doing that today, however. I'll save that for a Harrier video or something. But it is such a beautiful structure. And you see what I was saying about the water, too. When it gets close to the shore, it gets a little bit shallower. It's really cool stuff. Alright, so I was telling you about the monorail. And this is pretty much where the monorail tracks. It's through the center of town here. So you've got the main highway going down. And then you've got the little monorail there. There's one of the monorail stations. We'll try not to hit any of these buildings on our way down. There's another monorail station right there. And this is the Palms. There are actually two of these Palms Islands. One does not appear to have a lot of people in it. This one, however, does. And another interesting thing about it, at the far end there, there's a building which I assume is a hotel. I could be wrong, but it's also got a little arch through it. So, folks, I don't need to tell you what's coming next, do I? No, sir. If you've been watching this channel long enough, you already know what's about to happen. Yep. It's about to be a thing. Woohoo! They said it could not be done. Apparently, they didn't expect BelGeode here flying around. Ha 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 ha. Alright, I'm going to turn our radar off because we really don't need it. But we're going to get a little bit of altitude here. You can see 2 down there. I'm going to send him to the carrier momentarily. And then we, of course, are going to land on the Stennis, which is over there somewhere. But first, let's see just how much altitude we can get with these GE engines here. We're up to 15, 16. Heck, let's go outside. Okay, so we were able to get it past Angels 20. You can see the John Stennis right down there, accompanied by her escort ships. So we're going to see if we can bring her down really quick here. and we'll attempt to carry a trap under Case 1 conditions. But there's the palms again. You can see the other palms islands there, and back there you can see the world islands, which, as I mentioned, are so named because the islands form a map of the world, basically. Alright, let's see if I remember how to pull this thing off. I know we're going to need to get down to about 800 feet.
Altitude. Altitude.
Alright, thank you, Janean. Might as well send 2 in. Okay, 2 is going RTB. Excellent. This is my cue. We're going to make our turn now. And as is commonplace whenever you're doing this kind of an approach, we're going to lower our hook. And we're going to go past the ship until we get to where the destroyer is, or the frigate. And then we will make our break. So 1 will be in the break at that point in time. Keep an eye on our gas. 4.9. Hook down. Okay, let's straighten up here. The purpose for doing this is also get the course that the boats are traveling, which looks to be roughly about 040. Yeah, that would be my guess. Alright, so we're going to line up with the starboard side at about 800 feet. 830 is good enough. Speed 336. Alright. So there it is, folks. That's our home away from home. That's where we're going to be landing. Provided I remember how to do this. This could get interesting. Alright, but no time like the present. Let's go ahead and get the job done. A little bit further out. Right here should be good. So 1's in the break. Okay, so now we can get our gear down and our flaps down. Want to slow down a little bit first. We seem a little too close a beam, but that's alright, I can handle it. Alright, gear's coming down now. Flaps are down 1 notch. And there we go. Paddles contact. Alright, now, this is where the Hornet is a little bit squirrely for me, and I'm sure that's user error on my part. I just have to find that sweet spot, but trying to get the right AOA and the right speed is a pain in the butt for me. But I'm thinking this is good, so we're gonna swing ourselves around. Watch that AOA bracket. Speed seems a little fast, but then I've been used to flying the Tomcat, which generally the speed is a little bit slower than this. Either way, we should be good. I'm going to level us out here because my banking was a little bit too sharp. How are we doing on gas? 4.6. Alright, no time like the present. We're coming around the 90. Let's see if I can pull this off. Oh boy. 3/4 of a mile, calling the ball. 100, Hornet ball, 4.5. Oh boy, let's go outside. We're a little low, we're a little low. Come on, baby, come on. Oh, full power. And I do believe we trapped. Let's see how we did. Okay, that was a little low. That was a 1-wire. Probably should have been a wave off, but you know what? I'm on the deck, so I don't even care. Folding our wings. And we'll get our flaps up, too, while we're at it. There we go. Okay, let's get off the deck. 2 should be coming in any second now. Yep, there he is on final. Outstanding. Alright, I'm thinking I'm going to park over here somewhere. I got our nose wheel gained to high. We'll probably park on a number 1 elevator. For now, we'll kind of chill here and watch 2 come in. Okay, 2 is in. He's going to need to turn around, so I'm going to need to push forward here a little. I'll get out of your way, Merlin. Alright, right here should be good. Let's just straighten up. Voila. That is a beautiful thing. So DCS World finally has the Hornet, officially. Man, I can't wait to play around with this thing some more. And I know that Gasman, my loyal Tomcat co-pilot, is ready and raring to go. So you're probably going to be seeing some missions with the 2 of us in the very, very near future. In the meantime, I sincerely hope that you've enjoyed my first look at DCS World FA-18 Charlie Model Hornet, Lot 20. I'm, of course, rocking a user download skin. This is VFA 143, the Pukin Dogs, my absolute favorite squadron. And what more can I say? I absolutely love this thing. It's no Tomcat, but it will do for the time being. Thanks as always for watching, folks. This has been BelGeode. I have been flying in DCS World 2.5 Open Beta, and this has been the Hornet. If you enjoy what you've seen, please feel free to give me a like. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so. And I will be back with some more DCS VR goodness in the near future. Thanks, folks. And if you're going to Vegas, I will see you there. Ciao.